Good day, everyone. Happy Saturday. A rainy Saturday here in Canada. It's not a big surprise. It's been raining, seems like for three months. It's just raining every day. Crazy. But anyway, I try to make the best of all days, no matter what the weather is. And I'm going to talk about Canada being the 51st state, potentially, of the United States. Which, of course, Donald Trump is being accused of trolling people with this, saying he's not really serious, and he's just, he was picking on Justin Trudeau, calling him Governor Trudeau, and, um, you know, making him look like a buffoon, even though Justin Trudeau doesn't need any help looking like a buffoon. That's something he excels at that, actually. If you want to see a buffoon, there is one, for sure. But I don't believe Donald Trump is trolling anybody. I mean, he's trolling. He's always trolling, but he's serious. He is serious. And there's something called the North American Union, which I've been looking at for the last 10, 12 years, in which it's a plan in which Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. become one. And there's other plans around the world to do the same sort of thing, just start combining countries, and they're trying to get rid of borders. That's what they're doing. So I don't want to see this one world government thing. No, that's not what I want to see. That would be extremely detrimental, especially if the wrong people get control of the whole world. That could be really nasty and horrible. So I'm not a proponent of that. However, would I like to see Canada become part of the United States? As a matter of fact, now I would say yes, I would. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Main one being that Canada has become a communist shithole, is what we have here. And I've heard a lot of Americans say on this topic, we don't want Canada to become part of us. That's a communist nation, so what kind of voting is that going to add to our, all of Canada, there's a lot of people too, would be a pretty large state. Canada's huge. It's not as populated as a lot of other places are. It's a lot of it is just, woodland and uninhabited territory. But there are still, I think, something like 40 million people here or something. And if we became part of the United States and everybody has their communist ways, which is what's going on here, that would contaminate their voting pool, basically, in the States. So a lot of people are saying, no, don't want anything to do with Canada being part of us. I don't blame them for saying that. But would I like to be a part of the U.S.? Well, yes. As I said, yes, I would. At this point, I would have said the opposite 10 years ago, maybe, even 5 years ago, I probably would have. But I've watched Canada become, as I say, a communist shithole. And we're bowing down to other, not to Canadians, but to everyone else. We've given the country away, basically. China has more say in what goes on here than anyone does. And who is respected and given privilege and benefits in this country? It's not Canadians. It's now Muslims. Muslims are treated, the red carpet has been rolled out for them. And Canadians are second-class citizens now. Like people like myself who've been here. I've never even been out of the country. I've been in Canada all my life. You can't find more of a Canadian than me. Never lived anywhere else. I've never even visited anywhere else. I've been in Canada since the day I was born. Once we crossed the border when I was a little kid into Maine for an hour or so and then came right back. It's the only time I've ever been off of Canadian soil. So I am definitely a Canadian. And we used to have a cool identity. We used to be, kind of proud of our identity, who we were. Very nice, very friendly people, very hospitable, very welcoming, very agreeable, very, very kind. We were known all over the world as very good people. Well, that identity has been ripped away from us. We're actually reprimanded for your Christian nationalists, and if you have any pride in your identity as a Canadian, you're not allowed to. So why would I like to be part of the States? Well, the United States has the only constitution in the world that's actually proper. And it's being messed with, and people want to destroy it. Of course they do, because they're communists, and they want to see America fall so they can have their communist dystopia. They think that's going to be better. They'll find out. There's going to be a lot of regret in this world when people finally get the thing that they've been fighting for. They're going to realize, holy shit, why did I fight for this? This sucks. And biggest indication of that, you can see videos all over YouTube on this. People who live in America and shit all over it and think it's terrible, it's awful, and it's evil, and it's racist, and it's this, and it's that. There's no freedom here, and so they leave America, travel to other places. They go to the UK. Some of them go to Africa. They think they're gonna find a better life in Africa, and they realize, what the hell? The power's shut off for 9 hours a day. What's going on? Yeah. The state of the rest of the world is far worse than what it is in America. David Pakman, he's a pretty well-known leftist podcaster. He's threatening to leave America to come to Canada to escape this tyranny. You're going to come to Canada, where we're about to pass Bill C-62, which means everything you say online, somebody can, like a cop can show up at your door and arrest you, just like they're doing in the UK. Same thing. Australia's going that way too. Of course, the Five Eyes countries are going that way. So people get to these other places, they're making videos, they're like, well, I left America because of Orange Man. But then I got here and I'm not even safe. I have to hide in my house. Yeah. The rest of the world has not advanced to the point that the United States of America is at. Now, are there problems there? Of course there are. No society, no country is perfect. Of course not. Is it the best place in the world to live? Yep. When you compare it to other places, it's the best place in the world to live. Canada used to be, I really honestly believe that this was, other than our winters suck. The only place you can go in Canada where the winter's not so bad is British Columbia, but that is the worst communist shithole of the whole country. British Columbia has been taken over by China. It's basically a little version of China. That's what British Columbia is. Their weather's a little better. Their politics are communist. It's a shithole, definitely. And there's a political party here called the NDP, and they're running it now. They've got control of that, which China just loves. The Liberals or the NDPs, both are communists, so they're good with either. As long as it's not the Conservatives, they're the ones that want freedom and the same sort of thing that happens in the States. So, and now I will say, I'm not a supporter of any political party in Canada or the States, really. I don't think there's ever been a political party that's for the people. That's the conservatives. Well, one of them anyway, Doug Ford. That was his slogan, for the people. And there was even a song to go along with it, for the people, my ass, for yourselves, to enrich yourselves. That's what it always is, no matter what. So I'm like George Carlin. I don't vote because when things get all screwed up, you can't blame me. I didn't do it. I didn't vote them in. It's not my fault. Your fault. If you voted and now you're complaining about what's going on, it's your fault, right? Because you supported the whole system in the first place. I didn't. But politics exists no matter what. Political parties exist no matter what. Elections happen, and somebody does get power. So you can hate it all you want, you got to live with it. And if I got to live with something, I'd much sooner live with at least what's going on in the States now. At least there's somebody fighting for freedom there. There's nobody fighting for freedom here at all. Canadians are complacent. We've always been nice and friendly and welcoming, as I said, but we're also complacent. And we let our leaders have their way with us, basically. We did have the Freedom Convoy here, which inspired people around the world to stand up, which I am very proud of those people. That was impressive. And they suffered. Some of them are in jail even. I mean, there's people still in jail because of that, which never should be the case. I mean, they were just exercising their right to protest against what they're not happy with. They had no reason to jail these people whatsoever, but they have. And it happened in the States too, because there's corruption, right? There's corruption all over the place. But if we don't become the 51st state, we're going to become a province of China. And that's going to be a lot worse. We have Confucius institutes contaminating our education. We have little Chinatowns all over the place. There's one in Toronto. There's one in Vancouver. I mean, literally, they call them Chinatowns. It's like being in China. Everybody's Chinese. All the shops are Chinese. It's happening here. The town I'm in seems it's becoming Asian, a mixture of Asian and Muslim. Which, I mean, that's two different things, because Muslim is an ideology and a religion, and Asian is actually an ethnicity. But, you know, you can see both of those things being very present all of a sudden. All the shops downtown, there's so many Asian businesses, Korean grocery stores, and like just everything it's an Asian business. It's very obvious. They even have, you know, Asian lettering on the signs and stuff. Different languages. I mean, some of it's Korean, some of it's Chinese, some of it's Japanese, whatever. No, actually, not much Japanese. Very, very little Japanese. Asian in the way of Korean and Chinese, for sure. All over the place. And there's Iranian shops and Iraqi shops. And just people from those places have come in and taken over this town completely. So, yeah, I think Canada needs to become the 51st state. I would support it just because, as a last resort. If that doesn't happen, we are going to become a province of China and even more of a communist shithole than anyone can even imagine. We're on our way to it. So Donald Trump, our Prime Minister's name is Mark Carney. Make him Governor Carney. Sounds good to me.